Imagine a pot of dirt so parched, so compacted, so utterly barren, that water beads up and slides off the surface like droplets on pavement. Not one bit soaks in. The roots below are desiccated, deprived, neglected. Plenty of gardeners see soil in that state and chuck it straight into the bin. Over and out, no hope left. But that's a huge error, one that costs plenty since that earth isn't truly gone. It's just hibernating. With 3 everyday pantry staples, 1 overnight treatment, and a dash of waiting, it bounces back vibrantly by dawn. Forget pricey plant foods or store runs, just a subtle revival unfolding as everyone slumbers. The $2 billion fertilizer business prefers this trick remain hidden. Once folks learn it, the habit of grabbing fresh bags each year vanishes. Here's precisely how to do it. Part 1. The garden store's big lie. Before reviving anything, ponder this. What caused the demise to begin with? Step into a major garden outlet and racks brim with colorful sacks of top-tier potting soil, each touting thriving, no-fuss greenery. What they skip, on packaging, tags, everywhere, is that most of it ships biologically lifeless, fully sterilized, stripped of every tiny organism. Companies sterilize to kill weed seeds and bugs, which seems smart at first, until you grasp the collateral damage. The bacteria, fungi, and microbial ecosystems that turn dirt into a vibrant habitat, not mere pulverized stone. To mask the sterility, they load it with artificial mineral salts, potent chemicals, pushing rapid leafy spurts. For a short spell, it dazzles, but it's fake. Like popping pain relievers daily for a pounding head without fixing the root issue. The quick fix fades, the real harm deepens. Underneath, those salts accumulate. Osmotic stress surges to toxic levels, wiping out any helpful life in the container. A season or two ticks by. The soil's defenses crumble, organic bits dwindle, lacking microbes to maintain fluffiness and airflow. It packs down tight. Suffocation sets in. Oxygen vanishes. A nurturing bed morphs into an airtight grave. Industry solution. Grab a new sack, ditch the used one. Repeat come spring. Built-in failure. Not for gadgets or appliances, but soil. That's the $2 billion racket. Dirt remains lifeless because chemicals block revival. Plants stay hooked without natural feeders. A flawless dependency trap. Yet nature rejects throwaway cycles. This fix doesn't either. Part 2. The hidden world underfoot. So, what vanished in that sterilization? The revelation is mind-blowing and reshapes gardening basics. Scoop a pinch of vibrant woodland soil. Not bagged stuff. Genuine wild ground. In 1 gram, about a paperclip's heft, dwell 1 billion to 10 billion bacterial cells. Not a few, not dozens, billions. That's no mere earth, it's a bustling city, threaded throughout. Vast fungal networks called mycorrhizae, prehistoric beings predating tree roots. These filaments multiply a plant's foraging range 10 to 100-fold, probing spots roots can't reach. They act as subterranean couriers, trading water and minerals for plant sugars. If pests hit one plant, alert chemicals zip along fungal paths, priming nearby ones to fortify. Helpful bacteria crank out natural defenses against illness. They release sticky compounds like glomalin, clumping particles into that ideal friable, moist yet breathable texture gardeners love, like rich brownie crumbs. When potted soil hardens to brick, it's because this whole society got eradicated. A mini-apocalypse in a container. It craves no extra salts, no binning. It demands recolonization. A microbial reset. Enter the kitchen. The revival sparks are right there. Overlooked. Part 3. Rice Water's Simple Wonder. Kitchens everywhere discard one of nature's top microbial kickstarters daily, without pause. Rice water, that starchy, opaque fluid remaining after you've rinsed rice in a pot prior to boiling. It gets flushed away with every meal, season after season. Yet ancient traditions recognized its worth long ago. The Yao women in Huangluo, China, ferment it for hair washing, renowned for their lustrous ebony locks stretching 6 feet long, even in old age. Throughout rural Asia, generations have applied this rinse to boost garden growth and fortify animals. Its potency stems from that initial wash extracting huge amounts of starches, proteins, B vitamins, plus key minerals such as phosphorus and potassium from the rice. To microbes, it's a banquet. However, and here's the common mistake, simply pouring unfermented rice water onto lifeless soil won't work. Not immediately. When raw rice water contacts hard-packed earth, it rouses inactive microbes that devour the starch but lack nitrogen for the job, so they borrow all available nitrogen from the ground. Known as nitrogen immobilization, this can deprive plants of nutrients more severely than before. The key lies in fermentation. Deliberate, unhurried fermentation. This approach draws from Amish traditional practices and Korean natural farming methods. Collect 1 to 2 cups of the murky rice rinse and transfer it to a clean glass container. Avoid a tight lid. Instead, drape a cloth or paper towel over the opening to allow airflow. Place it in a cozy, dim spot in the kitchen. Then be patient. Just 3 days. In that 72-hour span, magic unfolds. Airborne lactobacillus bacteria, the kin behind yogurt and sourdough, settle in and take over. They dismantle the dense starches while their numbers skyrocket. Fresh tap water has virtually no microbes. Post-fermentation, each milliliter in that jar brims with about 200 million colony-forming units of helpful organisms. 200 million per milliliter, all from rice rinse and some waiting. It's primed when it shows light separation and emits a subtle, tangy aroma reminiscent of sourdough or yogurt. If it reeks of spoilage, discard and retry. But a nice sour tang signals a potent probiotic brew, packed with nitrogen-fixing bacteria and phosphorus-solubilizing microbes that pricey store-bought versions bottle for profit. That's ingredient 1. Yet troops without provisions won't advance far. Part 4, the metabolic booster, a dollop of sweetness. Now those microbes crave intense, enduring fuel. First, debunk a rampant, damaging gardening myth. Online clips urging folks to mix plain white sugar into watering cans for ailing plants. That's outright dangerous. Plants produce their own sugars via photosynthesis. Roots don't require extras. Dumping sugar syrup into soil triggers intense osmotic pressure, sucking moisture from root tissues, leading to desiccation and cell damage. It also invites disease-causing fungi that decay plants from the base. Skip white sugar. Opt for blackstrap molasses, specifically 1 tablespoon of dark, unsulfured blackstrap molasses, and the type counts. As the last sugarcane syrup pull, it packs peak levels of minerals, sulfur, potash, iron, and intricate carbon compounds. This isn't plant food. It's propulsion for the fermented rice water's microbes. In a moist, warm setting with ample carbon like molasses, good bacteria explode in numbers, doubling every 20 minutes. 1 divides to 2, 2 to 4. Within 6 hours, that original cell yields over 200,000 offspring. Such rapid proliferation is ideal for reviving a whole pot of barren soil overnight. 2 components complete, 1 remains, and the final piece hails from the hearth. Part 5, the legacy of wood ash. Millennia before, factory fertilizers emerged. Farmers across every settled continent grasped wood ash's value. They spread it over fields post-harvest. They blended it into heaps of compost. Instinctively, sans soil science terms, they sensed fire's gift endures. Here's its role here. After 3 days of lactobacillus action, the fermented rice water turns notably acidic, around pH 4.5. Applied straight to soil at that level, it could tip the balance too sour, repelling many vital organisms. Adding just 1 tablespoon of sifted hardwood ash fixes the issue entirely. This ash mainly consists of calcium carbonate, identical to what's in ag lime, serving as a mild organic pH buffer. When blended into the fermented mix, it raises the acidity to a perfect 6.5 to 7.0 range, ideal for vibrant microbial activity. Yet its benefits extend well beyond pH correction. It supplies potassium at up to 10% by weight, plus essential trace elements rarely found in store-bought fertilizers like zinc, copper, and manganese. In dense, packed soil, the calcium acts like a molecular pry bar, breaking up harmful salt buildup from prolonged synthetic fertilizer application and restoring the soil's capacity to retain and swap nutrients. A key warning: stick to pure hardwood ash from untreated natural wood. Avoid anything from treated lumber, painted scraps, or briquettes. Also, never combine wood ash straight with chemical nitrogen fertilizers, as that sparks a reaction releasing ammonia gas, irritating at minimum, dangerous at maximum. These 3 simple items, sourced from your kitchen or hearth, cost next to nothing. Now, let's combine them. Part 6. The Overnight Revival Method. All components are ready on the countertop: fermented rice water, blackstrap molasses, sifted wood ash. The microbial starter, energy source, pH balancer. 3 elements unlocking a single night's miracle. Here's the precise recipe. Grab a 2-liter container, like a typical watering can. Fill it with warm, chlorine-free water, around 75 degrees to 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Warm enough to feel pleasant. This heat is crucial. It lowers water's surface tension, enabling it to seep into the hard, water-resistant crust of compacted soil rather than beating up and running off. Plus, it softly rouses inactive microbes. To the warm water, add 100 milliliters, just shy of half a cup, of your 3-day fermented rice water. Stir in 1 level tablespoon of blackstrap molasses. Then, 1 tablespoon of sifted wood ash. Mix lightly until the molasses fully dissolves. Place the pot of lifeless, dense soil into a bigger tub or tray. Slowly pour the full mixture over the soil until it's entirely saturated. Not merely moist or splashed, but deeply immersed. The dirt requires a complete, penetrating soak in this brew. Then step back. Position it in a shaded, quiet area for 8 to 12 hours. Overnight works best. In those calm hours as the home rests, a remarkable process unfolds within the pot. The thorough drenching drives the microbial blend into every tiny fissure and pore of the hardened earth. Lactobacillus and fellow helpful microbes start establishing themselves in ground that's been sterile for months or even years. Molasses powers their initial growth spurt. Ash keeps the environment steady. By midnight, settlement is advancing. By 3 a.m., numbers are exploding. By first light, the pot holds something transformed. The true magic reveals itself post-dawn. Part 7. The Dawn Revival. Next morning, remove the pot from the basin and place it where it can drain easily. On a grate, deck edge, anywhere. Gravity draws out the surplus from below. The surprising twist comes next. As liquid flows out downward, it generates a suction pulling fresh air deep into the root area. Zones starved of oxygen for months due to density. This abrupt oxygen surge on the sugar-charged microbes sparks an aerobic explosion, as experts term it. With oxygen abundant, bacteria accelerate wildly, doubling every 20 minutes. Millions turn to billions. As they devour and proliferate at breakneck speed, they release extracellular polymeric substances, natural glues that fuse the powdery, inert soil fines into sturdy, airy aggregates. They're not merely inhabiting the soil, they're reconstructing its structure internally. Yesterday's impenetrable clay block evolves into a soft, aerated, vital network. Need evidence. After 48 hours post-drain, grab a soil handful. Shut your eyes. Inhale deeply. Gone is the musty powder or decayed root odor. In its place, a profound earthy aroma evoking a woodland after a warm summer shower. That aroma is geosmin, a compound from actinobacteria, the elite soil bacteria that dismantle hardy organic debris. Our sense of smell detects geosmin with exceptional acuity. Humans can pick up geosmin at levels under 1 part per billion. That earthy aroma wafting from the pot isn't merely enjoyable. It's living evidence, a molecular marker showing the soil's defenses have bounced back completely. Microbes are buzzing with activity. The framework is regenerating. The ground is respiring once more. It's vibrant with life. Part 8. Wisdom drawn from the earth. There's a subtle strength in seeing lifeless dirt spring back overnight, deeper than mere horticulture. That soil was never really done for. It lacked its vital collective, its bonds, the dynamic web essential for its vitality. The instant those elements returned, despite long abandonment, it sprang to life. Perhaps that's a thought to hold on to during tough stretches, when things seem packed tight, barren, and beyond their prime. Revival doesn't always demand fresh starts. Often, it just needs proper setup and a touch of forbearance. So, inspect those pots, destined for the bin. Reserve your rice rinse from dinner. Mix in some sugar and a dash of wood ash. Observe the transformation come dawn.